All right, we're back, baby. Still sick. Still sick. I got
sick.
bronchitis. Quab might have something more serious.
Relax. Too
Okay,
much
yeah,
info.
chill.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
I should
yeah,
have never
yeah,
said that. My
yeah,
God.
yeah,
Anyway, the
yeah,
Nuggets
yeah.
beat the Thunder 140 to 127. Let's go to the box score. SGA with 25.7 assists. Hartenstein 20 and 7. Lou Dort 26 points, 8 3-pointers, but it's no match for Jokic, who had 35, 18 and 8. Jamal Murray 34 and 6. Michael Porter Jr. 17 and 6. The Nuggets win the game. An impressive victory. The series is tied at 2-2. It's going to be 2-2 to end the season series because you only play each other 4 times in a regular season. Kwab, didn't mean to put it out there in the air. Knocking on wood. You're good. I'm
Now
good.
we're gonna start the intro over. Do another intro. I didn't like that. Do
What's
another
going on,
intro.
everybody? The Nuggets beat the Thunder 140 to 127. The Thunder didn't show up defensively today. That's what it felt like to me. I know J-Dub went out in the second half. Didn't have their whole team without J-Dub, and I know that he's like their secondary option on offense, and there was a lot to be desired on the offensive end as well. I mean, a lot of things came up today that worried me about the Thunder going forward in the playoffs when it's like when they take away SGA, what do you do? And the Thunder just seemed to kind of have the game plan of couple passes and a 3, let's see what happens. And there was really not much else after that. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, Jalen Williams wasn't on the floor. You didn't have your second best basketball player in the second half today. And I think that I don't want to say use as an excuse, but it does give some sort of explanation as to why the Thunder felt kind of stagnant on offense. But defensively, my goodness, this was not the Thunder team that we've grown to love, ladies and gentlemen. What happened? And I think a lot of it had to do with the Nuggets getting out in transition. And taking the first open available shot, moving the basketball. When you look at the difference between the Nuggets and Thunder offense, it's night and day. It really is. I mean, they have a bunch of options off the pick and roll. Jamal Murray, they can use Jokic as a hub, and I know that the Thunder can use Isaiah Hartenstein as a hub sometimes too, but it's not the same as Jokic. And they just have different variations of cuts that the Thunder just don't have and have to deal with on the defensive end. When you're running a ball screen for Jamal Murray, they weren't running one ball screen. They were running 2 ball screens coming up pick and rolls and that. So it was just kind of harder for the Thunder to kind of navigate defensively to control the point of attack on defense. And we really saw a Thunder defense, I don't say struggle, but just did not look as dominant as we were used to them seeing. And then, of course, when a team gets hot from 3, it makes the defense look worse than it actually is sometimes. But these 3s were open 3s. Most of them were open 3s or in transition in the flow of the offense. So I got to give credit to the Nuggets. Had a fantastic fourth quarter, opened up 6 for 6 from 3, and a lot of it was with Jokic on the bench. Just a game that solidified the fact what I've been saying for pretty much all the season since their bench started going, which is I don't think you can count this Nuggets team out. Yeah. I don't think you can. I don't know if I'm going to pick them to win the West. I don't think I'm going to pick them to win the West. But they are 2-2 against the Thunder this year. And on top of that, they've shown that they can put up 140 against this team. So just overall, a really impressive victory after losing to the Thunder yesterday.
Yeah, it was a different game than the game yesterday morning. With the Thunder, losing Jalen Williams is big because a lot of times they usually it's like the third quarter, the start of the fourth quarter is basically he's usually the main guy on the floor and they run the offense through him, and you could tell he was missing. They missed him throughout the course of the game. With the Thunder, and we also saw this the last game against the Nuggets. Anytime we've covered them in any game, they usually have a player come off the bench and step up and have like I want to say like a mini run or sorts.
Like Isaiah Joe will have like 9 threes.
Yeah, or Wiggins will come off or
Yeah.
I mean, just make they have like very impactful bench players that they have moments throughout the course of these games, even games like when you're down, and that didn't happen this game as much. I mean, Caruso came off the bench, had I think 13 points. He had a solid game, offensively and defensively as he always does, but they didn't have that, and I think that's one of the strengths of the Thunder is how deep they are in terms of having all these players that they can bring in and make an impact. And with Jalen Williams out, Lou Dort had a good shooting game, but like you said, it felt like your defense wasn't up to par as it's been all season. They didn't look like that team where they can turn off your water when they decide to. It just wasn't happening with the Nuggets. And give credit to the Nuggets, like you've been saying all year. You feel like you've been, even though they were struggling early on in the year, we always like we can't really count them out. They're still underrated. Second game without Aaron Gordon, the first game yesterday, like he went out early. I think they said calf tightness.
Yeah.
And because he wasn't in this game, they went back to that lineup that they had early on in the year when they didn't have Aaron Gordon. That was like helping them get some wins with Russell Westbrook in the lineup. And that lineup was working so well for them. Even when Aaron Gordon came back, he was coming off the bench. So seeing that line, I was interested to see how that was going to play out. And they played well. I mean, I think something that has been severely understated throughout the course of this season is Jamal Murray kind of finding his stride again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like we talk about how the Nuggets were struggling early on in the year, but Jamal Murray wasn't playing up to par basically. So now he's kind of been playing well, and they've been playing well. And what do you have? 34 points.
Yep. 6 assists.
6 assists. Like great game by him. Having Russ on the floor and some of the impact plays he had throughout the course of the game in terms of just having that secondary playmaker always makes an impact, and I think that also benefited them. But to your earlier point, the shooting. If they're shooting like that, good luck.
Yeah.
Like Peyton Watson was 4 for 4 from 3-point line, 6 for 7 overall. Like if you getting that sort of help from your bench or other players, like that's the Nuggets are gonna look like this every time. So like great win by the Nuggets, especially after what was deemed the MVP game yesterday.
Oh my God. Kwab and I don't really do MVP talk. We don't do a lot of lists. We don't do like rank this player. That's just not the type of vibe that we're on. Because I think it's stupid. Like I know people like to talk about that award and whatnot, but to me it's like it's whatever narrative you want to create,
exactly.
Whatever narrative you want to run with. That's what it is. Because now if you're somebody who was like, oh, SGA's now in the lead, after the Thunder beat the Nuggets last night or yesterday, now are you going to have to like reverse your course because of the Jokic's game today? Like it's just, I just feel like there are so many different variables and arbitrary qualifications that we have when it comes to discussing MVP, greatest of all time, GOAT debates, that those conversations really don't interest me. Kwab and I will pick it. Like, we'll have a discussion at the end of the year, like, who we thought the MVP was. But as far as, like, for this channel specifically, talking every week about who's the MVP now, I don't know. Jokic had 30-point triple-double, where SGA only had 20. Like, just...
It's a lot of goalpost moving that happens.
Why? Exactly. It's constant goalpost moving from everybody. Yep. And then it's like whatever narrative you want to create or uphold that season. That's really what it is.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
Sorry for the mini rant there.
No, that's fine. It's kind of like I would have said the same thing. We talk about it all the time where we're just like it's a narrative award. It's always been a narrative. It feels like this year SGA has like been the clear-cut favorite in terms of
because the Thunder had the best record in the league for most of the year, them and the Cavs. Exactly. So it's like, and like Donovan hasn't been as dominant as SGA. So it's like, all right, SGA. And last year SGA was a top 3 finalist, so we'll give it to SGA.
We'll give it to SGA.
And that's not me saying he shouldn't beat. I'm just saying like that's the narrative.
That's the narrative, and he deserves it. Like it's not we're not saying he doesn't deserve. He deserves the MVP. So we don't get in that type of talk. But did you watching this game? Was there any cause of concern when it came to Thunder?
Yes, absolutely. When the Nuggets were trapping SGA in the half court, it looked like they were playing a high 2-3. Yeah. Because they would trap him with 2, and then the bottom 3 were kind of like in this zone. To me, it's like especially without J-Dub, you have Isaiah in the short roll who can make things happen, and he has that little bit of a floater, but is that something that you're comfortable with going to all the time? And then you have other players who, they might be able to shoot you out of that, but we saw today they don't really make plays for each other off of that. They're not a particularly great passing team. I just think that, going forward when the game slows down, it's similar to last year like they couldn't hit a three. No one could hit a shot outside of SGA. And their offense, to me, isn't as fluid, isn't as cohesive, isn't as reliable as some of these other offenses that we're seeing in the league. Now, their defense is the best defense in the league by far, and that's what they hang their hat on. But on a night today, like tonight, where like your opponent just can't miss from three, I don't know. It's going to be tough. I do think they're the best team in the West, but I don't think it's by this large margin. I don't think it's by as dominant as their record says it is. It wouldn't surprise me if they don't make it to the finals.
But do you think that, especially with how good their defense is, do you think that kind of like can, I don't want to say negate any offensive struggle? But
No, it can.
Kind of, okay. Well,
Yeah,
like,
because you don't have to be as good on offense if your defense is historic, right?
elite. Yeah, if it's elite, yeah. Yep.
If your defense is that elite, like you can get away with like having an off shooting night. You can get away with not maybe executing as much down the stretch in the fourth quarter. So that's what I think they're going to hang their hats on. And I don't think they're going to have a defensive performance like they had today in the playoffs too often.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is going to be harder in the playoffs. It is going to be different in the playoffs. You are going to be going against teams like the Nuggets, against the Lakers, against teams that can spread you out and shoot the basketball and might have a different, have different options and different ways of running their offense, and you don't have that in my mind. You don't. It's kind of just give the ball to SGA, have him make something happen, give the ball to Jalen, have him make something happen. Every once in a while, run with Isaiah Hartenstein as a hub, and he's a fantastic passer. I love him. You know that. Yeah. But to me, I just wish their offense was a little more creative so I can be comfortable late in games instead of just, hey, give the ball to SGA, hopefully he draws a foul, or hopefully he's incredible.
No, okay. I think that the one thing when I try to highlight on with their bench and how deep they are, I think that's going to factor in, especially in the playoffs. Just because I feel like Dagnall being very comfortable, not like just sitting SGA like for a huge amount of minutes and just being like, okay, let the bench work. That is going to end up paying dividends in the playoffs for them. Just because you having. Like we said, we've covered games where like Isaiah Joe has gone off or Wiggins has gone off, and it's just like you're gonna need that in the playoffs. You're gonna need like a player that can come off the bench, even if it's just 5 points or 6 points in a little stretch. Those make a difference in the course of a game in any 7-game series. Switching to the Nuggets, how far do you see them going in the playoffs?
I don't know, man.
If Gordon is healthy, because I think that he's such a big factor, especially how well he's been playing, how well he's been shooting.
I don't know what I'm going to do come playoff time.
Yeah.
If you were to put a water gun to my head right now, I'm picking the Thunder to win the West.
Yeah.
But I could see the Nuggets making the finals. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that I don't think the West is that strong this year, right? You have the Thunder, you have the Nuggets who are now in the second spot, and the Lakers who are a team who just kind of really completely had a facelift of what their identity is, even though they've been playing really well. And after that, you have the Rockets, the Grizzlies, teams who we both like, but let's be honest, we don't really believe in. And the Warriors, who I have to see more of. So it's kind of like, this is a year where it's like, yeah, I mean, kind of out of default, they're the second best team in the West. That's what it feels like to me. Maybe third best team. So I could see them winning the West. I think their ceiling is getting to the NBA Finals.
And yeah, it's the NBA, okay.
But I don't know. I could see them losing the second round to the Lakers. I think the Lakers are a horrible matchup for them.
You think the Lakers are a horrible matchup for them?
Horrible.
Well, healthy Lakers right now. They're trending down because of all the injuries. But yeah, I mean, look, anytime we talk about the Nuggets, and even early on in the season when we're like, they're struggling, they still have arguably the best player in the league. Like with Jokic.
He is the best player in the league.
Arguably the best player in the league.
Okay.
When the MVP award comes out, it might not be that case, so we don't know.
Don't make me cough. No, you're right.
No. I mean, look. Jokic is fantastic, and if we didn't recap yesterday's game, but even that game before he injured his elbow. Like I know he was kind of like I'm okay, but like he was trending towards having like a triple-double in the first quarter. It felt like he makes the game look easy, and the only time like I feel like when watching the game against the Lakers, where it felt like the Lakers basically were like anybody but you is gonna beat us.
Yeah.
And they were funneling the offense towards like trying to funnel it towards non-shooters, and it was kind of like that was like the playoff. They said it was like the playoff look. Was the only time I kind of saw like I was like, okay, the Nuggets might be like in a little bit of trouble, but if they're moving the ball like this, Jamal Murray's is playing like Jamal Murray, and they're shooting the ball, they're getting contributions from the bench. I mean, what's his name's name was also injured. Julian Strawther, who's another shooter off the bench. Like if they're getting all that from all around, like that's a tough ass team.
Yeah, they're tough. I mean, but listen, they still gave a 127 to a Thunder team that I was just like complaining about how they're running their offense today. Like defensively, out of all the contenders, the Nuggets are the worst defensive team, and that's my issue with the Nuggets.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
But who knows? I mean, listen, I think today was a statement victory for them. I think, yeah. To go on the road on a back-to-back and beat the Thunder in their own home, yeah.
Fair. Okay.
And to tie the series 2-2, like this is a team that the Thunder have lost 12 games all year.
And 2 of them have been like, hey, good call. Yeah.
I mean, this is a team that's now the 2nd seed. Like this is a statement. Yo, like you are not going to get rid of us easily. Like it's going to go 6 or 7 with us. And you might be on the losing end of it. You know, I think a lot of people have fallen in love with this Thunder team, and rightfully so. I think they've been the best team in the West all year. They deserve it. But I do also think that their record is kind of blinding people from how close they are to the pack. I don't think they're as, like, far away from the pack as a lot of people make it out to be. I think they're the best team in the West. I think they're the favorites to win the West. If you were to ask me, Josh, who think's going to win the West today, I think I would say the Thunder. But I think tonight is a statement game in the sense where it's like, hey, listen, the West can be had. It can be had. It's not wide open, but it can be had.
You know what it is though? I think the reason why, to your statement, why you feel like people don't view the Thunder as close to the pack like that is that when they win, they blow out teams. Like they beat the dog crap out. Like it's bad, bro.
Oh
like,
my God, I'm a Knicks fan, bro. That was one of the worst losses I've ever seen in Madison. That game was over, I think, 7 minutes into the game.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like even the games they end up like they might be down in the third quarter and they make their runs. They just you will look at the end of the score and be like, yo, what just happened? And I think that's why people will feel like when you look at them, you're like, yo, they're not as close to the pack because when they beat you, they beat you. Like I don't know how many. We would have to look up how many actual close games they've had throughout the course of the season. But it's like their victories are like, yo, they're stomping you out.
Yeah. No, yeah, that makes sense. All right, well, listen, the Nuggets beat the Thunder 140 to 127. Kwab and I are back, baby. Tomorrow, Bucks Pacers. Because we haven't watched the Bucks, Kwab. We haven't even discussed this through text, but I'm just throwing it out there. Bucks Pacers.
You're going to have to edit that part out. Yeah, Bucks Pacers. Just, I'm done.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We got to do a full episode, too. I mean, this has turned into kind of a reaction show. But we were a podcast at one point. We still are. We still are. We still are. We gotta do a full episode, Kwab. We gotta do a full episode coming soon. Also, power rankings at the end of the week. I don't want to do it now. Let's just give it a week and then do it at the end of the week.
We're gonna have power rankings at the end of the week. We're gonna have Nets cast for you guys tomorrow. But we'll like Josh said, we'll have some full episodes. Some make sure to leave your comments. We always use your comments. You want to see us recap anything? Let us know. You want us to talk about anything? Let us know.
Yes.
We listen to y'all. Josh reads all your comments. We take it all in account. So definitely right. Hit us up, baby.
Definitely. You can follow us everywhere at The Dime NBA. I'm Josh Rodriguez at Josh_Rodriguez_. He's Kwab at Kwab AK. Yes, we'll see you next time for another episode of The Dime. Peace.